I would like to ask you a question. Have you ever walked into a meeting and felt the room go quiet? Not the focus kind of quiet, but the uncomfortable kind. The don't say the wrong thing kind. If so, you're not imagining it, and you're definitely not alone. I've worked with leaders across multiple industries, and this moment, the shift into silence, is one of the earliest signs that something is off. Not dramatically off yet, but quietly slipping. And here's the part that no one tells you. Silence in a team is never neutral. It's communication all on its own. Over the years, I've helped leaders rebuild trust, repair miscommunication, and create psychological safety in their teams again. But I've also experienced this myself. Early in my own leadership career, I used to think silence meant agreement at times, but it didn't. It really means disconnection, and learning that changed everything, not just for my team, but for my own well-being. So today, I would like to help you understand that silence and chat to you about it. Why it happens, what it's really telling you, and what you can do today to turn it around before disengagement really settles in. The silence isn't random, it's a signal. Here's the truth most leaders were never taught. Teams don't stop talking because they have got nothing to say. They stop talking because they believe it won't matter. Let me ask you, do you remember the moment when your whole team used to contribute freely? Or when was the last time you saw that version of them? Generational differences play a role here as well. Some team members were raised to only speak when they felt certain. Others speak to just figure things out loud. They speak their thoughts. And some fear conflict, some fear judgment, and some fear wasting your time. But silence almost always points to one thing. Psychological safety has dipped, even slightly. Not because you're a bad leader, but because your team is human, and humans stop speaking when they feel dismissed, misunderstood, rushed, judged, or simply unheard. This is the part no one tells you. Silence is self-protection, not defiance. The cost of silence at work that leaders often they don't see is that silence isn't just awkward, it's expensive. It shows up as slow decision-making, lack of ownership, reduced creativity, passive conflict, just doing the job energy, turnover brewing under the surface. Silence is early stage disengagement. It's what people do before they emotionally exit. I would like to ask you this question. When was the last time your team surprised you with ideas, or have they fallen into predictable patterns? When was the last time someone disagreed openly rather than quietly complying? If it's been a while, this is your yellow flag, not a red flag yet, but moving towards it. Why silence happens more in multi-generational teams is because communication norms are different across each generation. Let me give you an example. A millennial might think, I don't want to speak up unless I'm sure it's relevant. A Gen Z member, they might think, is this a safe space to share honesty? A Gen X member might think, I'll just keep my head down and get on with it. And a baby boomer might think, I don't want to challenge the leader publicly. Same silence, different reasons, same impact. This is why many leaders misunderstand the quiet room. It's not a lack of commitment, it's a lack of clarity on how to contribute safely. The turnaround starts with this. Stop trying to get people talking. Start making it safe for them to talk. I want to share 2 tools I used with leaders that are simple, powerful, and immediate. The first tool is what I refer to as the first word framework, because in every meeting, someone needs to go first, and the leader has 3 roles. The first role is to normalize imperfection. So you say, share it even if it's half-formed. We can shape it together. Number 2, invite, don't interrogate. Replace any thoughts with, I'd love to hear your perspective on this. What's your first instinct? And thirdly, respond with calm curiosity. Even if the idea isn't great, say thank you. Say more about how you were thinking about that. The first person who speaks shapes the energy for everyone else. Let me ask you, when was the last time someone spoke up without being prompted? If you can't remember this, this framework will help immediately. The second tool, the feedback safety net. This prevents silence turning into tension behind the scenes. Here's the 3-step version leaders can use from now. Step 1, ask a safety question. Is there anything I've done recently that made it harder for you to speak up? Step 2, sit with the answer instead of defending. Even 4 seconds of silence after the response shows maturity. Step 3, show the adjustment. Thank you. Here's what I'll try this week to improve on that. Safety isn't created by words, but by how you handle someone's truth and feelings. Your team doesn't need a louder leader, they need one that's going to listen to them and truly listen. When leaders shift from speed to presence, pressure to curiosity, assumption to understanding, the team will shift too. You'll see more ideas, more ownership, more honesty, more trust, and more momentum. Silence breaks not because you asked for input, but because you created space for it. That's where real leadership meets life at work. Before you go, just ask yourself, remember the moment your team stopped talking as openly? When was the last time someone disagreed with you openly? What small shift can you make this week to rebuild psychological safety? You don't need new personalities on your team, you need new conditions, and you have the power to create them.